Your host, Dr. 𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐥𝐥, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. 𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐥𝐥. It is so fun to be here. And here we are in December, and we have been going over some really great, massive goal planning over the last couple of weeks because, gosh, let's be real, right? We have big goals set in our hearts for 2024. I don't know about you guys, but I want this next year to be so much bigger, so much better than it's ever been before. I want to prove to myself what I'm capable of. I want to know that I am not going to be in the same place that I am right now next year. And this last year was an incredible year of growth and transformation for me. And I can't wait to see what God is going to do with me on this next leg of this journey, right? And if you're like me, you're like, yes, amen, sister. I want this too. And so for the last couple of weeks, we just got actually off of this amazing, massive summit that we've done here inside of the Spiral Up community, the Spiral Up Business Summit. It was fantastic. And, if you guys are needing some of those resources, I could probably hook you up. So reach back out to me. I could probably find you some VIP access for that summit if that's something that you really, really want and you're really sad that you missed out. Lifetime access to that. But one of the things that we've done here inside of the Spiral Up podcast is really help you to dream again, right? Get clear on those big goals. What do you want to see this time next year? How do you envision your personal life, your professional life, your health and well-being, your relationships, your vocation, your time and financial freedom? What does that look like, right? And I helped you to utilize some of my brain science techniques to think about visualization and how we can start to see it in our mind's eye and allow for us to leverage the law of assumption to step into what this life could look like so that we're behaving in the manner that we are already there, that we're already living that life. And therefore, we can start to make decisions from that place. And then Sarah Light and I, of course, had a conversation about goal setting to help you to start to get into action. And I thought today what we would do is we would talk about how can I essentially merge those two, where I talk about getting into action, but I'm also talking about the vision and the identity of who you are. And I want to give you some tools today so that you can start to actually do what you said you were going to do. I mean, oh my gosh, New Year's resolutions are such BS sometimes because people set them and they give up on them 3 weeks from when they set them. They're like, this is too hard. There's too much I have to give up. I just can't do it. Right. And they completely give up. And then they feel like a big loser. And they're like, I don't even know why I set these anyway. Right. That's not how we want to go into this new year. Because every time we start to doubt ourselves, every time we should on ourselves, every time we introduce guilt and shame into our space, we take ourselves further from those higher frequencies and the quantum life and the law of attraction that could bring us into the same frequency of the things that we've been praying for. Every time we get stuck into doubt and shame and guilt and shoulding and all of those things, we drop ourselves to the bottom of that vibrational scale and we're further away from that dream life. And I want to help you get away from that. Now, today I'm gonna speak to you with a little bit of truth with a hug. Those of my clients are like, oh my gosh, here it comes, right? But sometimes out of servant leadership, we have to recognize that I have to serve you with agape love, which is I need to do what you need, not what I want. I need to do what you deserve, not what makes me comfortable. And today I am going to tell you to do it. I want you to freaking do it. Now that sounds simple. We can say, all right, sweet. Here we are, 4 minutes into this and I'm done.
And it could be that easy, but there's a little bit of brain science. There's a little bit of quantum physics that come with this. And so I want to give you some background. Okay. What happens is when we say we're going to do something and we don't follow through, you think it's no big deal. You're like, yeah, big deal. I meant to write in my calendar, my planner every week, and I'm not doing it. So I'm like, like who cares? Like it's not a habit I want to develop. Oh, I said I was going to drink, this much water every day, and that didn't work. So whatever. What happens is that whenever we tell ourselves we're going to do something and then we don't do it, you start to think about yourself in a different way. And you start to lose trust in yourself. When I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I am no longer trustworthy. Why do you even set goals? You're not going to meet them anyway. Why do we even try to work out every day? You're not going to show up anyway. Why do you even bother to think that you could follow up with all those clients? Because you're not going to do it anyway. And you start to lose trust in yourself. And you might be thinking, yeah, big deal. But here's the deal. When you lose trust in yourself, you lose a self-esteem. You lose esteem for yourself. Lack of self-esteem is going to impact the way that you're showing up. That lack of ability to show up in a way that believes in yourself, that just like, dang right, I have the best coaching program and consulting program in the country. Dang right, I get transformational results with my clients. Dang right. If you start to think that you're not trustworthy, you start to lose respect or esteem or self-esteem for yourself. It is going to show up in the way that you show up. And your clients are going to notice a shift in the way that you bring energy to the conversation. The people that you meet are going to think and pick up on that reservation that you have. And you don't even freaking realize it, because this might be the way that you have been functioning your whole freaking life. And you're wondering why you have not gotten the results that you want. Is because you keep freaking breaking promises with yourself. And you don't view yourself as trustworthy. You don't view yourself with high esteem. And therefore, you don't believe that it's possible for you. And you don't really believe that you are the best. And therefore, you don't bring that conviction to your sales conversations. You don't bring that confidence and that posture to your social media. And you wonder why you're not getting the results. That's quantum physics, guys. You're not showing up in the energy that you need to be to attract those dream clients, to expedite the trust factor that somebody needs to decide to work with you, or to be able to charge what you could charge if you were just able to posture yourself with the self-esteem and the belief in yourself, because you have the skills. But the way in which you approach the conversations, the way in which you carry yourself is so lackluster that you show up trying to pitch a $500 program when your colleagues are out there selling $5,000 programs, and yours is even better. Because people are not going to rush after you. I just had this conversation with my friend Krista last night. We were on our way to Minneapolis to our National Speakers Association Academy class. And it's like, it's so true. If I were to offer to speak for somebody for $300, and the clients are normally used to spending $10,000 on a speaker, they're never going to call me back. But if I show up, like, my fees are $7,500, they're going to be like, okay, that's in line with who we already have. She must be good. And I'm not saying that you need to be deceptive if you're not that, like, whatever. Those are things that I get to help you with when we coach together, is I get to see, like, where is your skill level and what should you be charging? And then where is your mindset and your energy holding you back from charging that space? Because that's keeping you from the life that you want. That's keeping you in hustle for the sake of hustling. That's keeping you in scarcity because you're not charging your worth. And therefore you're working way more too many hours and people aren't actually buying from you because they devalue what you're doing. And all of that can be traced back to the way that you show up and the way that you feel about yourself. What do you think would happen if you started to actually frickin' do everything that you said you were going to do? And you started to do the same thing into your program and into your profession and into your family and your fitness and all of the things, and you started to actually show up the way that you intended to. Do you not think you'd get results? Do you not think that you would start to actually see transformation in yourself and therefore in other people? But you haven't been doing it. And so now you're doubting yourself. I don't know if I have what it takes. And it all can be traced back to you didn't follow through. You no longer view yourself as trustworthy. You're like, there's a little asterisk, like, yeah, you could charge that, but I don't really think that you have what it takes. And so you just keep charging that $500. If you said it, do it. Because your energy, it's not what you do, it's who you are while you do it. And are you carrying yourself with a posture that is in alignment with the level of service that you could be giving? And are you believing it? And are you showing that energy when you're talking to people, when you're deciding how much you should charge, when you're creating your things? The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and aside from the quantum physics part of it, because again, you're going to attract the solutions, the people, the wealth, the things that you need are going to be living in this frequency of abundance up here, where you're in love, joy, peace, gratitude, and you are confident and you know that you have a lot to offer, right? The other thing that happens when you break your promises to yourself is you start to fulfill the self-fulfilling prophecy in your brain. So you have subconscious programming that has been there for a long ass time. Most of our programming actually was created before we were 7 years old. And then what happens is that programming runs in the background on autopilot 95% of the time. And that's what you are thinking, the context in which you see the world. It's literally what you're doing to sleepwalk through life. But you don't even realize it. But your subconscious is constantly looking for validation in the outside world that matches up with the beliefs of the inside world. When we have a belief that we are not good at what we do, we don't follow through, we just don't have what it takes, guess what's going to happen? My brain is trained because it literally, it works on, it focuses on and what it knows, and it focuses on what is going to be consistent with what it already thinks. So if I think, you know what, I don't even know why I bother, so I'm just going to continue to, not do as well as I think because I don't follow through, right? I'm going to keep seeing things around me that are going to prove me right. See, there you go, Lachelle. You didn't get up and work out today, so that just proves that you just don't have what it takes. That might not even be in association with my business, but guess what? My brain doesn't know that. So my brain starts to think, well, you just aren't somebody who follows through. So, and that impacts my identity and who I think I am. And I'm literally just continuing to drink my own poison because my brain is only going to look for things that validate that. So if I don't think that I follow up, I don't think that I follow through, I don't think that I do what I say I'm going to do, my brain is going to create more of those moments. It's going to find more of those moments, it's going to focus on more of those moments, and it's going to create this self-sustaining identity that I just do not have what it takes. Ugh. The things we do to hold ourselves back. And guess what? I'm right there with you. It happens all the freaking time. But the good news is that I know how to get out of it. And I'm going to tell you that right now. And I know it's said it before. It's super simple. Do what you said you were going to do. I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. Start to create small action steps that can be 100% within your control and 100% doable. So I am not going to go into a big goal and say, I am going to work out for 2 hours every single day when I can barely find 20 minutes. But guess what I can do? I can tell myself every day as I'm starting out on a new habit, on a new goal, maybe I just tell myself that every single day I am going to put on my gym clothes and I am going to do 3 sit-ups. Is that doable? Heck yeah, it is. It doesn't have to mean massive action, but I have to start training my brain that I can do things consistently, that I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. So guess what's going to happen? It's a lot easier to work out when you're already in your clothes. And I've already gotten my body moving a little bit. So maybe tomorrow, instead of 3, I'm going to do 10. And after a week or 2, I might say, you know what? Every day I'm going to do 10. And I slowly start to build it up, but I'm always creating the goal that allows me to be 100% consistent with I said it, I did it. Do not tell yourself that you're going to do something that you don't think you're going to do, because you are going to put yourself back into that self-sabotaging downward spiral. Quantum physics, brain science. Let's start using quantum physics and brain science to our advantage instead of recognizing why we're in our downfall. So I have my little goal. Maybe I'm going to talk about my business every single day, one time, every single day. Maybe it's on social media. Maybe it's in a conversation. Maybe, I'm doing a video. Like, I'm going to pick one thing to talk about my business, whether it be in person, online, on the phone, on Zoom, whatever, every single day without fail. It's non-negotiable. I can do one. You don't think that the compound effect of doing one thing consistently every single day is going to make a difference? Use it to start building some trust in yourself. Use it to start building some trust in yourself so that you start to see yourself as somebody who follows through. I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. And you can, after you start to build that habit. Now, habit research tells you that, you all hear the 21 days. I'm going to tell you that you're much more willing to follow through in a habit if it's 60 days or more. So just think of yourself as 2 months. And sometimes what I'll do, you guys, is I will create a game for myself. I'm like, I can do anything for 90 days. I can ignore the things that I might have to give up in that space. I might be able to ignore kind of how hard it is because I know that there's an end in sight. And then I give myself a reward at the end of that 90 days. And I make something visible, like literally the red check marks, like the Jerry Seinfeld, like the red streak. I'm going to put a check mark in every single day in this calendar for 90 days. And guess what's going to happen? In that 90 days, I am proving to myself that I can do what I said I was going to do. I'm creating habits so that autopilot that we talked about, I'm now putting it to my advantage. It just does it without me even thinking about it. And then I can utilize more brain science to habit stack. And I'm like, oh, I'm already doing 10. Maybe I'll add this thing onto that habit. And you attach a new habit to one that you've had established. But not only are you building habits and automation in your brain, you're changing the way that you see yourself. You start to see yourself as trustworthy. And you're more likely then to take on new challenges, to have that esteem where, like, you know what? Like, I am really good at what I do. Why? Because you've been freaking doing it consistently. It's so freaking powerful. And you start to think about yourself differently. And you're like, no, yeah. And guess what happens? You're going to start to see more things in your outside world that match up with that version of yourself. Like, oh yeah, look at that. I followed up with that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that feels in alignment. That's just exactly what I do with this other thing. And you start to see your brain start to look for it because it's a new identity that you've created. From that space of that identity, you'll have now raised your vibration. And you're not down here shaming and shitting and guilting and all the things all over yourself and bringing yourself spiraling down. You're staying up here. You're like, yeah, I did that. And guess what? That impacts the way that you show up in the world. That impacts the way you talk to people. It impacts your energy, your vibration. And the electrons that you have are going to start entangling with the things that you have been praying for, the customers, the solutions, the ideas, all of the things. All coming down to something so freaking simple. I said it, I did it. So I'm going to ask you right now, what is something that you can commit to right now? What can you commit to right now? You're like, all right, nope, this is going to be a new habit. And I want to encourage you to just start to claim that as who you want to be. I am a person who follows what I said I'm going to do. I am a person that has integrity with my word. I am a person who does what I say I'm going to do, even when nobody is watching. I am. There's a reason that I named my company I Am Life by Design, because it's a state of being. The law of assumption is the most powerful law in manifesting, because when you become that person, you might start to make decisions. Your brain starts to look for other things. You're in a different quantum space. I am. I am the person who follows through. And sometimes, friend, you just have to make the freaking decision. Even if it's hard, like, you know what? No, I am so tired of this. I am not going to allow myself to be this anymore. And you're just going to have to buck up and be bold and say, this is going to take some courage, but I am not letting myself off the hook this time. It is a decision. It's a decree. It's a commitment. It is a declaration, and then not going back. Sometimes you just have to pony up and do that. But I want you to try this. Be gentle on yourself though, right? There's no guilt and shame. Maybe you just had too big of a goal. So start small. Now, one of the things that I have found that has worked really well with my clients is that we have a running homework tab. So at the end of every session that we have, I actually have our next steps written on a Google Doc, and they get sent their homework at the end of every session. And at the beginning of the next session, we always go through their homework to make sure that they have gotten done what they needed to do. Accountability. Accountability will get you to where you want to go. If you're like, I still am struggling, I still need to help myself, like, keep my word, keep my promises. Sometimes, guys, I'm going to just tell you that when you pay attention. I have had all of the resources in the world. Like, I suck. I should say that. Up until now, I've sucked. It's a game. You have to play in your brain. Up until now, I have not been very consistent at working out. Okay. So sometimes I have to recognize that no matter how many free Facebook groups, no matter how many videos I have access to on the internet, no matter how much free equipment I have already in my basement, I need the accountability. And when I pay attention. And when I have paid for coaching, when I have paid for personal training, when I have paid for things, I'm so damn frugal that I do not allow myself off the hook, because I do not want to waste my money. And so when I pay attention, and I actually do what I say I'm going to do. And so if you need this other layer of accountability, I want to invite you to consider our Spiral Up program. It is freaking amazing. And you can have an accountability partner inside of the program that's in addition to me, that can help you maintain your goals, big and small, and encourage you and support you and help you to continue to spiral up. So if you have questions about that, I would absolutely love to invite you to a breakthrough call with me. I can hear where you're at. I can see where you've been struggling. I can hear where you want to go. And if you're a good fit for one of the programs that I have, then I will invite you inside. And if you are needing a little bit more accountability, sister, I got you covered, because I've been there myself. But for now, I'm going to leave you with the words, I said it, I did it. And I'm going to encourage you to take on that identity with something small and allow it to blossom into something major in your life, in your business, and create the future and your life by design. All right, you guys, thanks for a good podcast episode, and I'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, plug into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.